Hi, I'm Scott Olson, co-founder of LTCshop.com and author of Long-Term Care Insurance Now. In recent episodes, we've been discussing a chart a financial planner posted on social media. We've linked to the chart in the episode notes below. The chart looks like a seesaw or a teeter-totter. The title of the chart asks, "Should I buy long-term care insurance?" On the left side of the seesaw, he listed 10 reasons why someone probably should buy long-term care insurance. On the right side of the seesaw, he listed 10 reasons why someone should probably not buy long-term care insurance. In this series of episodes, we're examining the 20 suppositions this financial planner made about who should and should not buy long-term care insurance. Let me emphasize that he and I agree on most points. But one of the suppositions that I touched on in the last episode, I want to discuss in more detail right now. On the left-hand side of the teeter-totter, he states that someone probably should buy long-term care insurance if they would emotionally struggle with spending their assets on care. As I think about that, I can imagine a conversation going like this between a financial planner and a client. "Mr. Smith, as your financial planner, it's my duty to ask you this question in order to help determine if you should or should not buy long-term care insurance. Mr. Smith, do you think you would struggle emotionally to spend your assets on care?" Sadly, when you think about that question, it does more harm than good. And here's why. Everyone, nearly everyone will answer that question by saying, "Of course I'm emotionally strong enough to spend my assets on care. It's my money." Everyone will answer that way while sitting safely, healthy in a financial planner's office. But when the time comes, most people don't spend their assets, and they usually don't spend their assets for emotional reasons. I talk with people like this every day. They delay getting care. They rely on family and friends. They put off spending assets on the cost of care because no one really knows if they would struggle emotionally with spending their assets on care until that time comes, or until that time is very close, until that time is inevitable. Instead of asking, "Mr. Smith, would you struggle emotionally with spending assets on care costs?" the financial planner should ask, "Mr. Smith, if you ever need long-term care, let's discuss which assets you would use to fund that care, and in what order would we liquidate those assets?" That question has value. Asking someone if they would emotionally struggle spending assets on care does not help. That question simply compounds the cognitive dissonance most people experience when the topic of long-term care planning is discussed. And then here is the other problem with that question, because there's another factor to keep in mind. Once your care needs have advanced far enough, you won't be the one making the decisions anymore. Even if Mr. Smith wouldn't struggle emotionally spending his assets on care, his loved ones may struggle with it. A plan to liquidate assets to pay for long-term care expenses often turns into daughter care or spouse care. Please understand that when you need care, you will probably not be the one making the big decisions anymore. 9 times out of 10, your loved ones who will be responsible for you will make the big decisions, not you. And your loved ones may have to make those decisions under a lot of stress, emotional stress, financial stress, family stress. Your loved ones may even have health problems of their own that they're dealing with. In my experience, when faced with the reality of caring for you, your loved ones are likely to look at the situation one of two ways. One, they'll say, "He probably has less than 6 months to live." I can take care of him for 6 months. There's no need to take money out of the retirement accounts. 6 months is not that long. I can handle it. Or they'll say, he might need care for many years. He would not want us to liquidate his retirement savings to pay for his care for several years. It's not that hard. I can handle it. Whether they think you'll need care for a short period of time or a long period of time, they come to the same conclusion. That is why I said a plan to liquidate assets to pay for long-term care expenses often turns into daughter care or spouse care. And there lies the hidden gem in owning long-term care insurance. When your loved ones know there's a policy in place that has been paid on for years, they are quick to hire professional help and not take on the hardest burdens themselves. Planning for long-term care is not planning for your death. Planning for long-term care is planning for your quality of life, should you ever need daily assistance. But most importantly, planning for long-term care is planning for your loved ones' quality of life, should you ever need daily assistance. The purpose of planning for long-term care is to minimize the negative consequences a long-term care event would have on your loved one's physical, emotional, and financial well-being. And in the next episodes, we'll talk about that, the role of family caregivers, and the 28 hats most caregivers have to deal with. Thank you.